Hello, hello. Today I am answering a question emailed by Kelly, and she wanted to know, do I have to add protein to a Trim Healthy Mama baked good? So in my 6-week boot camp, we focus on the different tips and strategies and focus areas that will give you hopefully the best bang for your buck with THM. We work on how to stay on plan no matter what, how to make the plan work when you're busy, how to be able to stay on plan when you're busy, tired, stressed, all of the above, and how to just make Trim Healthy Mama a lifestyle versus a diet. And there's so much that goes into that. But one of the things we focus on a lot is protein. Protein is a vital part of the Trim Healthy Mama plan. Protein is something that I often work with clients to either increase or sometimes decrease a little bit to make sure that they are getting an adequate amount. And of course, you need to run that by your doctor, but we work through a lot on protein. We talk about it all the time. So when I'm reviewing food journals, which is a big part of boot camp, everybody posts their food journals every day, just about everybody. You are not obligated if you have a busy day, but I review food journals constantly. And when I'm looking through food journals, can't talk today. Sorry, that happens all the time. When I'm looking through food journals, I will look to see if there is protein with every single meal and snack. It's very important. I'm also watching for a host of other things and other triggers and other patterns and a lot of things that could cause problems on your THM journey. But when I'm looking for protein, there are times that I will point it out and say, hey, did you add protein? And times that I won't. So when I'm looking through a food journal, I typically see that people forget the protein with their ease. It doesn't happen all the time, but a lot of times when I see like on-plan popcorn or oatmeal, I'll see that there's no protein with it. I'll point it out. We'll work on that and make sure that my client in boot camp is incorporating that the next time they have an E. But sometimes I'll see an E like a giant baked blueberry pancake or the Trim Healthy pancakes or the BAM cake. And I will not always point that out and ask that they add protein. The reason for that is sometimes there's enough protein in a serving of that to count for THM. So we want to shoot for, about 3 ounces or the size of a deck of cards. That's really hard to measure in a baked good or recipe like that. So what I tend to do, I've gone through and calculated so many THM recipes to see if one serving has enough protein, and a lot of them do. But the key seems to be if you are making a Trim Healthy Mama baked good, like pancakes, if there is more than one source of protein in that recipe, I have found that every time I find that, when I calculate it, it does turn out to be enough protein per serving. So you could put the information into a nutrition calculator and figure that out for yourself if you'd like to. But my general rule of thumb, just from so many years of experience on plan and so many years of coaching now, is that if you're making a THM baked good and it has 2 sources of protein included, a significant amount, if you're not cutting it into tiny little squares, if you're using the normal serving size, you will probably have enough protein. With ease, more than other meals, it's not always a bad idea to have like an FP protein as well. So if you're making something like oatmeal that doesn't have any sources of protein you're adding, I think it's generally a good rule to go ahead and have protein with that. We want to have protein as the base of every meal and snack. We want to be getting that protein in for many reasons, and we get into that in boot camp, and you get it, read it in the Trim Healthy Mama plan books. But if you are having something like oatmeal and you add your protein in, that's perfect. You could add collagen. You could do a shake on the side. My favorite easy go-to protein is 8 ounces of unsweetened almond milk with a scoop of THM flavored protein powder. I really love the cookies and cream. I was resistant to the vanilla for a while, but I'm having it now and I really enjoy it. If you are having something that has some protein in it, so let's say you have a recipe that has like 1 egg or, 1 egg white in a whole sheet pan recipe, which is unlikely because it's not a lot of liquid. But if you end up with something like that, you're going to want to add a little bit more protein. So generally, when I'm calculating though, I have not found a THM recipe that doesn't have 10 to 20 grams per serving when there's multiple forms of protein that you're using to make the recipe. So look for recipes that have egg whites, cottage cheese, Greek yogurt, like the BAM cake. It has egg whites, it has the Greek yogurt, oats have some protein in it. So it actually ends up being a decent amount of protein per section per serving. Now, when I will add protein to that anyway, is if I know I'm having a small piece, I'll add a little bit. And actually today I was talking to my boot campers about this. I had a sumo orange, which I love those oranges. A sumo orange. I had a smaller one because that's a lot. And a small piece of Bam cake to fit into the 45 grams of carbs that we can have on an eat. But I was aware that my small piece of Bam cake likely didn't have enough protein in it. So I added some collagen to my coffee, and that was my breakfast with a healthier amount of protein. So that's how I calculate it. You could definitely check it out for yourself, but I don't check as often anymore when I'm grabbing an baked good if it has more than one source of protein in it. And when I'm having a decent sized piece, that's typically what I do. I feel like I can count on that being enough protein in most circumstances. But if I'm having a small amount, or if it's something that doesn't have two sources of protein, I'll typically add another one. That just requires less counting. That's not an official THM rule. That's just I guess a tip or an anecdotal piece of information for how I figured things out. But of course, you can do what works for you. So I hope that's helpful. And there are just a few spots left in boot camp. So if you want to grab your spot, you can go to thewellplannedkitchen.com/THM bootcamp to grab it before it's closed. We just have a little bit of time left before summer. So this is a great time to sign up. And I will talk to you soon. Bye.